Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe and come and join our little family on here. So a while back I did a video on Sogang University and the KLEC, which is their Korean Language Education Center, and I covered most of the basics, but I kept getting questions both on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram from you guys, so I thought that I would collect all those questions and I would sit down with you guys today and try and answer them as best as I can. If you are interested in a more general overview of Sogang University / the KLEC, please do make sure to check out the previous video. I'll put it here. So in terms of age limit, as far as I'm aware, there is no age limit. However, I'm pretty certain that you do need to have a high school diploma. That's their minimum requirement in terms of age or qualification. So if you have that, then you're good to go. I got a few questions about the exams or the level placements in the KLEC, and I actually started in level 2. So I did level 2, 3 and 4, and originally my plan was to be placed into level 3 and finish level 5 because I did it as part of my university program, so we had 3 terms there and I really wanted to finish level 5. So I took the exam and then they told me that they were placing me in level 2. And to be honest, at first I was really disappointed and I was pretty unhappy with that. And I think that my level was, to be honest, when I really look back and I'm very harsh on myself, I realized my level really was halfway through level 2. And so I think that it actually really worked out well, and they really are good. They know exactly where you should be. So I'm really glad that they placed me in level 2 because I think it allowed me to actually consolidate the knowledge that I previously had gained of Korean. So it meant that I didn't have any gaps in my knowledge, and then once we got to halfway through the term, I was learning new things. So even though at first I was a little bit disappointed and I questioned their judgment, I think they were really good and they put me in the right place in the end. So whatever happens, I think that they do tend to put you in the right place, so don't be too worried about that. In terms of the exams, they are tough, but there really won't be anything on the exams that you haven't seen before. And what I've noticed as well is that they're so lovely at the KLEC and they want you to succeed. No one wants you to fail, so they're not going to throw in any nasty questions or try and trick you. They will just test you. And so as long as you've studied and you have taken the time to really understand what you're learning, then I promise you, you'll be fine, absolutely fine. So someone asked me about doing one term versus doing all the terms and whether or not you are required to do all the terms consecutively, and that would be 6 terms, which is a lot of money to pay all at once, and if you're like me, you don't have that money just lying about. So firstly, I'd like to tell you that you're not required to do the levels one after another, in the sense that you don't have to just keep doing them. You can do the levels whenever you'd like. You know, the terms, I know a lot of people who would do one term and then they would wait a little bit, that maybe they'd go back to their home country or they'd spend time in Korea working, building up their money again so that they could do the next term. So there really is no requirement for you to just, you know, blast through all those terms at once and pay a lot of money. It's up to you and what you can afford and what you feel comfortable doing. My personal dream is to go back to the KLEC and finish level 6, but who knows when that will be. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, unfortunately, but once I save up some money again, I would love to go back and finish level 5 and 6, so maybe I'll see you guys there one day. So like I just mentioned, some people did take time to work or to, you know, gather their money again, whether it be in Korea or in their home country. So I guess that kind of leads me into this next question, which is to do with jobs and working in Korea. When I was on my year abroad, luckily I didn't need to work because I had a student loan, which I was, you know, I'm so very grateful for, even though it's getting bigger and bigger, and every time I look at what I have to pay back it makes me want to cry, but at the time it was wonderful. But I do know a lot of people who were working, they had part-time jobs while they were studying, and they also used that time as a student to be able to make connections and find positions or companies or workplaces that they might want to go into once they had achieved level 4, because level 4 at Sogang is the equivalent of topic level 4, which is what you usually need to either enter a university in Korean, to, you know, in a Korean language program in Korea, or it's what you need to be considered for a Korean company. So a lot of people would use the time as they were studying up to level 4 to start looking for a proper position for after they got that level. Or there are tons of jobs around. Because Sogang is in such a good location, it's near Sinchon and Hongdae, there are tons of restaurants and cafes and student bars that you could definitely pop into and see if they have a position for you, or alternatively you could head to Itaewon if you're not super confident about your Korean skills yet, because Itaewon, as you may know, is a very popular foreign area, so there's tons of foreign bars, clubs, restaurants, cafes that all require English speaking as well as Korean, so you should definitely check those out. I'm sure that you'll definitely be able to find a place. Quick side note though, I am making this video during Corona times, so this advice I think is general advice, and I think that during this time it might be a little bit more difficult to find a job, so I think that really is something that you need to take into consideration if you do know that you'll need to be working to support yourself while you're studying. Korea, like the rest of the world, has been affected, and my friend was just telling me about how many places are closing down, even in Myeongdong, well actually especially in Myeongdong, which is a very Chinese tourist area, because you know Korea doesn't have tourists at the moment. So I would definitely take that into account, and I think that at the moment finances will be a very big issue for a lot of people, so please take the time to think seriously about your situation. I don't want to advise you guys wrong or, you know, tell you false information, so just a quick note. In terms of accommodation, I was very lucky because I managed to find an absolutely lovely woman through Airbnb. I found a great flat on there and I messaged her and I asked her if she would be interested in renting her flat to me for the entire year, and she was lovely enough to say yes. And then she also, we agreed to do it off Airbnb, and we had a separate contract that we wrote up, and it was great. She was really lovely. She found me actually a different flat because I had some personal circumstances, so I couldn't have the flat that I originally wanted, but she found me a different flat and she was great, really helpful, a lovely Korean American lady. So I think that the first piece of advice I would give you is to look on Airbnb. And if you find something that you think is really nice, then I recommend messaging the people directly and asking whether or not they'd be comfortable renting to you for however long you need it, because that, you know, it's great to have your own space. However, if that's not something you're interested in or able to do, Korean hostels are actually also amazing. I think that Korean hostels have been some of the nicest hostels I've stayed in. I went backpacking on my gap year around Southeast Asia and East Asia 2 years ago, and Korean hostels were some of the nicest hostels I stayed in, so I definitely recommend checking those out as well. Sogang University does have student accommodation, but as far as I'm aware it's only for students who are actually enrolled in Sogang University, not just the Korean language program. So unfortunately I don't think that's an option, but I also heard that Sogang University is 2 people to a room, which personally is just so unappealing to me, so I never even considered it. But if you're a nice person, a nice roommate, and you like sharing your space with people, then how do you do it? I also got a question about making Korean friends, and I have to be very honest and say that I didn't make any Korean friends on the program. But the reason for this is the Korean language program isn't for Koreans, you know, it's all foreigners, and so of course most of the people that I met on there, all the people I met on there were foreign, and they were lovely too, they were wonderful, but in terms of Korean friends, that just wasn't the best place to meet Korean friends at all. Instead, the best place to meet Korean friends was actually out and about and, you know, drinking and having fun and going to bars in Sincheon and Hongdae, which Sogang University is super close to both of them, perfect student location. So I recommend, again, be careful during these awful times, but if you're watching this in the future and coronavirus has, you know, buggered off, then I mean, and if not, just be careful, guys, be careful. But Hongdae and Sincheon are both wonderful places to meet people, and as a student, I think you have a lot of freedom, usually, you know, and if you do the KAP 200, which I will talk a little bit, I will talk about a little bit more in a minute. If you're doing that one, then your classes will start at 1:30 in the afternoon, so really, you don't really have a curfew. You know, you can go out late, you can get up late. It's a wonderful lifestyle, you guys. It's student life. I really miss it. So as I just mentioned, the KAP 200 starts at 1:30 in the afternoon and goes until 5:30 in the afternoon. So that's 4 hours. And there's also the KGP 200, which is also 4 hours and is actually, I think, the exact same price, or maybe there's like a 20 pound $30 difference, which I'm not really sure why that is. But the KGP 200 is the same 4 hours, but it's in the morning. So it starts at 9 in the morning, I think, or 9:30 in the morning, and goes until 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon, which, to be honest, I can see the benefits of it if you want to sort of just get that out of the way and have the rest of your day free, but I really like sleeping. So as a person who likes sleeping, I recommend the KAP 200. I mean, I like going out late and getting up late and having a very decadent lifestyle when it comes to sleep. So that would be my personal recommendation. But if you're actually a person who likes mornings and is good at getting up, then I would look into the KGP 200 as well. So those are all the questions that I've received recently about Sogang or the KLEC. I hope they were helpful, but if they weren't, please do drop me a line either here or on my Instagram. I'd love to hear from you guys on both those social medias. Please let me know if you'd like any clarification on anything, or if you have some more completely different questions. I would be so happy to answer them. I really did have a fabulous year at Sogang and the KLEC, so I just really hope that you guys can have a wonderful time there as well. I would love to live vicariously through you guys, so please let me know if you're planning to go there, or you're there, or you've been there, and we can chat about how amazing it is. And if you're planning to go there, let me know. And so, you know, I'd love to see your journey. I'd love to live vicariously through you guys, so please do let me know. Please also let me know if you'd be interested in more videos like this, because as you may know, or is pretty obvious from this video I guess, I did spend a year in Korea as a student, so please let me know if you'd like to hear more about my experiences about Korea, if there's anything in particular you think that you'd like to get my 2 cents on. And I also spent 8 months or 9 months there on a working holiday visa, so if you'd like to hear more about my experiences, please do let me know. Please never hesitate. Please I can't English, you guys. Please don't hesitate to contact me or ask me or just come and chat to me, because I really do love hearing from you guys. So yes, please let me know your thoughts. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and like I said at the beginning of the video, please also make sure to subscribe and come and join our little family on here. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please take care, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!